Right now in Washington, female members of Congress, well, I actually see a man there as well, led by Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, are announcing new bipartisan legislation that would reform the military justice system.
It's time to change this system that has been held over since George Washington, that is simply not working today for the men and women who are serving.
This effort follows two high-profile cases of men in charge of weeding out sexual assault being charged with it themselves. And this shocking number from a Pentagon report. It estimates a rate of about 500 women and men in the military are assaulted every week, 3 every hour last year, an increase of more than a third since 2010. The proposed Senate legislation would take top commanders out of the process of deciding whether a sexual misconduct case goes to trial. Joining me now, Iowa Congressman Bruce Braley, who is sponsoring similar legislation on the House side. It's good to see you. Good morning.
Thanks, Chris.
These numbers are astonishing. 30,000 sexual assaults may have taken place last year. How would your bill fix it?
Well, I've been fighting this problem since July of 2008 when I first became aware of these alarming statistics. And sadly, the numbers keep going up rather than going down. The harsh reality is the Pentagon sexual assault prevention strategy is failing. And it's time to take it outside the chain of command of convening authorities. The latest incident that you didn't refer to in Aviano, Italy, where a jury appointed by a commanding officer convicted a lieutenant colonel of sexual assault after hearing the evidence and had that conviction overturned by a convening authority who wasn't present at the time of trial is an absolute outrage and is a symptom of this problem.
Well, there was a report in the Hill that Republican Congressman Mike Turner said he had a meeting at the White House on this matter, and, quote, people pretty resoundingly indicated they are not in support of removing it from the military chain of command. What kind of opposition are you facing here?
Well, we were just out at the Pentagon right before the Aviano conviction was overturned. We met with all of the service branches. The vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs was there to reaffirm their strong commitment to eliminating this problem. The Pentagon likes to talk about its zero-tolerance policy of sexual assault in the military. 26,000 incidents of sexual assault that affects men and women in uniform is not a zero-tolerance policy, and that's why it's time to change the system.
Well, the president is meeting with the Joint Chiefs today, and as you rightly point out, in spite of the fact that a number of them, and not just very recently, have said that these kinds of things are not tolerable, should not be allowed, that they have to get tough on them. Again, the numbers have been going up. So what do you want the president to say to the Joint Chiefs? What do you think that can be done from that level?
I want the president and the Joint Chiefs to be as upset and outraged by these numbers as I am and my colleagues are, Republicans and Democrats, men and women, because 41% of the treatment for military sexual assault in the Veterans Administration pays for treatment for male patients. That's the great unspoken travesty that nobody wants to talk about. If people sign up to serve our country and to protect and defend this country, they deserve an environment free from criminal activity, which is what military sexual assault is. And until the Pentagon gets serious, and that is communicated up and down the chain of command, and people start to lose their commands for failing to enforce these policies, nothing is going to change.
Well, Congressman Braley, we have been following and will continue to follow this closely. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the